Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Harbor Freight DOYLE ratcheting wire crimpers. Now, Harbor Freight likes to compare these to the version that Klein has out. I'm pretty sure the handles are the exact same color, just the name's going to be different on them. And I wouldn't put it past them if it actually comes from the same manufacturer as the Klein ones. So to get to the video here, you got the DOYLE name, which is a part of the molding on the handles, which is nice, and you have a nice comfort grip or a comfort grip style of handle, where it's a nice rubbery grip. It's not like a hard dipped handle or like a hard comfort grip plastic. It's got a nice rubber feel to it, which is nice. And then you have the DOYLE name down here, and then you got these nice grips there on the handle, which fit fairly well into the hand. Now, there is two ways to unlock this tool. You can squeeze the handles together, or if you don't want to do that, or something happens, you don't like it, you can just press the release, and it will open the tool back up. As you can hear, it is a ratcheting mechanism there on the inside. And then coming to the business end of the tool, you're going to have your different crimping dies here on the front of the tool. And it is color coordinated, which is nice. So your yellow is going to typically be your 10 to 12 gauge wire, and then blue is normally 14 to 16 gauge wire, and then the red is for 16 to 22 gauge wire. It'd be interesting to see if somebody has replacement dies for these. I don't think Klein has replacement dies for this specific tool. I know they have another tool where you can get replacement dies for it. I don't recall seeing replacement dies sold for these at Harbor Freight, but then again, this is a fairly inexpensive tool that Harbor Freight has to offer, so you probably aren't going to be able to find replacement dies for this guy. And the tool relatively operates super easy. Like I said, you just squeeze two handles together to get it to come apart, and then just close it down, and then you just squeeze nice and tight until the tool opens back up, and that's when you're going to have a nice crimp on your wire. So we're going to go ahead and bring in some wire here to test out how well it will crimp. So we're going to start off with some 12 gauge stranded wire. We'll go ahead and open up the tool, and we'll put that terminal into there and make sure we like how it fits. And then we're going to make sure we have enough wire sticking through, and we'll go ahead and crimp down on the terminal and see how well of a crimp it does. So I've crimped it all the way, and we'll take it out. And you have a nice crimp there on the wire, so that wire shouldn't be coming out of that terminal. It should be nice and secured on there. Now, one thing I have noticed about this and the Klein one is it does tend to bend the terminal, so you could just bend that back with your finger or a pair of pliers to get it nice and straight again. So we'll go ahead and do that one more time. Instead of a ring terminal, we're going to go ahead and use a spade terminal. And I did a horrible job pre-stripping that. That is definitely not enough wire sticking through there, but we'll go ahead and crimp that on anyways, because why not? So we'll just line it up, and then go ahead and squeeze down with one hand, and the tool will release, and that poorly stripped wire is now crimped onto that terminal for forever. So that is with the 12 gauge stranded wire, so we'll go ahead and throw that there off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and bring in some 18 gauge stranded wire and some small little terminals here. And we'll go ahead and insert that into the terminal, and we'll go ahead and insert that into the tool, and make sure we have a nice little bit of wire sticking through. And we'll go ahead and use my one hand to crimp it down. And we have a nicely crimped terminal onto there, and I don't think that will be coming off of that wire. So we'll go ahead and do that just one more time. Again, we'll go ahead and put that in there, and then we'll line it up with the correct die, and then we'll go ahead and squeeze down on it. And you should have some nice crimps onto there, and that shouldn't be coming off. So overall, I mean, they're relatively, like I said, they're pretty identical to the Klein ones. Now, I currently use the Klein ones when I'm doing mini splits. I'm the type of person that when I'm doing the wire for the head on the inside and the unit outside, I like to crimp terminals onto there. I just kind of find it easier to connect the wire. But that's just me. You might be different, but that's what I pretty much use mine for, is only on mini splits. Instead of just using the hand crimper, just use the ratchet crimper, since you're doing was like 6 or 7 different crimps. Instead of just doing it by hand, just put them in the ratchet crimper and crimp them up. without any issue. That's what I use mine for. Like I said, pretty much identical to the Klein ones out there, and that's what they compare them to. So when it comes down to it, it's pretty much up to you which ones you want to buy. You want to buy the Klein ones and pay a little bit more, or if you want to buy the Harbor Freight ones and pay a little bit less. As far as I can tell, the tools are relatively the same. I might have to film a comparison video between the two, just to see kind of if they really do come from the same factory. It pretty much, like I said, looks identical. Just the covering on the handles is a little bit different. So like I said, I'm sure Harbor Freight found out who Klein was using and just had them make their own for them for a little bit cheaper of a price. So with that being said, I will have a link down to this in the description below if you want to learn some more about it, and or if you want to see if your local Harbor Freight has one, or if you want to have one shipped to your house. I'm not sure if they ship these. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with Harbor Freight and how they do like their online shipping and ordering. But you can see if your local Harbor Freight near you has them in stock in the store if you're looking to pick these up. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. So thanks for watching.